What's up, everybody? It's Dono. I got a question asking what you can do to get over stage fright, so that's what I'm going to cover in this video. All right, so if you've been rapping but haven't really performed before, stage fright is going to be a pretty common thing that a lot of people run into. Even if you have been performing a little bit, a lot of people still probably get stage fright. So I'm going to go over a couple quick ways that you can start combating stage fright if that's something that you run into. Now, the very first thing that you're going to want to do is to make sure that you're prepared. This is probably the biggest key, right? If you're going to freestyle or if you're going to recite a song, or regardless of what you're going to do, you need to make sure that you're really prepared. If you're not prepared, if you haven't practiced, if you don't have your stuff memorized, if you don't have the baseline of skill that you need to perform at a high level, then of course you're going to be nervous because you're not going to feel confident in the skills that you've built up. Now, on the flip side, some people have been practicing a lot, really have their stuff down, and still get nervous. That's a little bit different, but the first step is you have to be prepared and you have to be ready to tackle whatever it is that you're trying to do when you perform. Now, the next thing that you need to do if you want to start overcoming stage fright is to start small, right? You don't have to start by trying to have a show with 80 people show up. That might be a little bit too big for what you feel comfortable with. So start really small. If you haven't performed in front of anyone before, try doing, a song or a verse in front of 3 people, something really small that's going to get you out of your comfort zone, but maybe not be overwhelming. Then from there, you can just keep scaling up to bigger and bigger groups. And before long, if you've had enough practice with it, you're going to feel more and more comfortable, which leads me to the third point I want to talk about, which is just kind of leaning into the fear. For a lot of people, even after they've been practicing and they really have their stuff down and they've done some performances in front of other people, they still have a little bit of nerves or tension that build up. Now, there's 2 ways to think about this. You can think about it as nervousness, or that you kind of feel sick and not prepared, or you can think about it as excitement. And when people really get into a good flow, it's because they're using this energy as a bit of excitement, because a lot of times, no matter how much you practice, there's still going to be some amount of tension inside your body. Now, the way to get through this is you just have to lean into the fear a little bit. You just have to accept that it's natural to get nervous when you're about to perform in front of a lot of people. Even really established names can get some level of nerves going out in front of a lot of people. Now, for a lot of them, they've practiced so much that it's become a little bit second nature, or they just naturally gravitate towards that a little more. But by just kind of accepting these parts of the feelings and pushing through them, that's going to help you overcome your stage fright. Just being exposed to these experiences helps lessen how scary something that you haven't done a lot of feels. Now, the last thing to remember is that really, if you want to start performing, this is the only way to do it. And as painful as it might be emotionally, in the grand scheme of things, worst case scenario is you get up in front of people, you say some stuff that doesn't really make sense, they don't like it, it doesn't sound that good, and you keep moving on. There's no real long-term lasting negative impact. You just have to step in and start actually trying to do these things. Otherwise, you're never going to build that skill. So it's going to be difficult to kind of push through that fear. But remember, in the long term, there's not really any negatives that can come out of it. Yes, it may be uncomfortable, but in the long term, nothing happens. So that's all I've got for this video. Hopefully that gives you a couple ideas how to start working through stage fright. As always, if you have any questions, comments, topics you want me to cover, throw them down in the box below. I'll get to them as soon as I can. Beyond that, I've got a full 30-day how to rap course. I'll give you a link with the discount code down in the description. And I've also got a website, rapbetter.com, where you can find some more tools. That's all, and I'll see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe so you can stay up to date on the videos. And if you have any questions, comments, or topics you want me to cover, leave them down in the box below and I'll get to them as soon as possible. See you next time.